Aloha. Today's recording is for something called Beloved Memories, and it's about my children and my family. And the title of this one is Cold. And I'm not going to use this person's name because I don't know how he'd feel about the whole world knowing this story, but I love it. So we adopted 2 children, and in their records it said, and I don't know if this is true, but in their records it said that their mom, who was an addict, had left them one night and gone to a party and hadn't come back. And the little boy was maybe 8 months old, something like that. And so he stayed in his crib all night and into the next afternoon when neighbors heard them crying and came and got them. I hope it's not true, but what I do know is that their behavior reflects this. His sister was with him, and she was maybe 2 at the time. So anyway, after that, when these kids came to live with us, they were both afraid of cold. And we could tell that in many different ways, but the main one I remember is that one day we took them to Yosemite, and we had started down at the seashore where it was warm, and when we got to Yosemite, it was cold. There was cold air blasting through, and he got out of the car, and suddenly he was in such panic from the cold that he crawled up my body and clung to me, saying, "We're gonna die, we're gonna die." So after that, I knew to help keep him warm all the time. But the story I want to tell you today about him, besides that he's amazing, that he's very brave, that he can be tender, that he was a foster father for a while. Just an incredible man. But the first day we took them home to our house, we had an aquarium, and it was a saltwater aquarium, one of those expensive aquariums, and it was filled with seahorses. And so it was down low near the ground. And so he came into the house, first time he'd been there, and he sat down on the floor in front of the aquarium, and he just looked at the fish for a while, and then he said, "Mama, they're cold." And I said, "Oh no, sweetheart, they're fine. They like this water. This is salt water. This is where they're supposed to live." And so he just kept saying, "No, I can tell they're cold." And so finally, not thinking of the ramifications of this, I showed him the heater and how it bubbled up. And I showed him the heater and said, "This is what keeps them warm, that it blows warm bubbles of water through the aquarium." So then he felt better. He was happy. We put them to bed, and everything went well that first night, or at least I thought. And then the next morning I woke up, and he was sitting in front of the aquarium, and he said, "They're warm now." And I went over and I looked, and we had 17 boiled seahorses because he had turned the heater up all the way. And he was so proud of himself that he had kept them warm. He grew up wanting to take care of everybody, and I would be so honored for you to know him because his life is focused on taking care. Thank you.